The Badger men's basketball team doesn't open its season here at the Kohl Center until next month, but I'll tell you, tonight felt like a Badger game with how loud fans got for the Bucks. Ball told me just a few minutes ago that the unknown is just killing him right now. He's gripping that cell phone very tightly. Starting a season 1-0, it sounds simple enough, but the Packers actually had not done that since 2011, losing their last 3 season openers coming into this one here in 2015. Of course, 1-0, but I'll tell you, it was not easy on this field at Soldier Field. After the game, Aaron Rodgers wasn't all that excited, not because this wasn't a big win, but as he said, it's just one regular season victory in a year where they have much bigger goals in mind. Lance, tonight it's going to be wet, it's going to be cold. In other words, it's going to feel like high school football here in the state of Wisconsin. The biggest smile in this building may just have been on the face of Melvin Gordon, the electric Badger running back, now a Bolt, selected in the first round of the NFL draft by the San Diego Chargers. Once again, the state track and field meet draws a stadium full of fans, and you know who else decided to show up? The sun. Yeah, maybe the most important part of this event. The Brewers may not have won tonight's game, but this was a largely successful day for this organization, turning a negative start into a new beginning, with Craig Counsell leading the way. The big question coming into Sunday, would Jordan Spieth make history, becoming only the 3rd golfer ever to win 3 majors in a single season? This no doubt the year of Jordan Spieth, but this tournament and this day belong to Jason Day. It's hard to imagine a more daunting way to make a debut as a head coach, going against 3rd-ranked Alabama in prime time, standing across the field from Nick Saban. Welcome back to Wisconsin, Paul Crisp. I'm sure many Packer fans are in full panic mode. They're just freaking out, but that's not something Coach Mike McCarthy says he'll ever do. Well, the Brewers are already looking ahead to next season, releasing their 2016 schedule today. You know, I'd list it off, but we'd probably get cut off by the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Brewers are red hot, winners of 7 of 8 games. They were in South Beach today, bringing the heat. That was a Will Smith reference. The pitcher, Will Smith, didn't appear today. They didn't need him as the offense went to work. First inning, Crush Davis gives the Brewers a 1-0 lead with a home run. The 5th inning was a big one for the Brewers as they took a 6-0 lead. The young pitcher, Zach Davies, was dominant on the mound in his 2nd career start. 7 innings with just 1 earned run. Brewers win easily 9-1. This was supposed to be the day the Packers got back on track, playing the 1-7 Lions at home, a team they hadn't lost to in Wisconsin since 1991. But let's face it, something's not right with the Packers, who have now lost 3 games in a row. Eddie Lacy inactive with a groin injury, and he saw what we saw. Packers offense that continues to be completely out of sync. The Lions were up 2 points with 2 minutes left, and it appeared they put the game away as Matthew Stafford hit Lance Moore for the 4-yard touchdown. All that was needed was an extra point, but nothing's guaranteed with these Lions as Matt Prater misses, giving Green Bay some life. And just like last week, the offense finally came to play in the 4th quarter. Aaron Rodgers hit Justin Perillo for the touchdown, so the Packers down 18-16. They had to get the 2-point conversion to tie, but Rodgers' pass to Devontae Adams knocked down into the end zone, just 32 seconds on the clock. We all figured the game was over, but again, the Lions really tried to give this game away. Ensuing onside kick goes through the hands of Calvin Johnson, and Demarius Randall recovers. Packers with another chance once again. Rodgers and the offense drive it to the 34, giving Mason Crosby a chance to win it, but man, what is that? Kick had no chance as the Packers suffer a rather embarrassing loss to the now 2-win Lions, 18-16 the final. Green Bay has now dropped 3 games in a row.
Before I missed it.
Kyle Costigan's job as the Badgers' right guard is to protect those on his side. But 6 months ago on Valentine's Day, there was nothing Costigan could do when he received a phone call from his sister delivering some bad news about his mother, Sandy.
My sister called me and told me she had stage 4 kidney cancer, and she told me on the phone, and I mean, she was crying, and it was just a really emotional time.
It was hard. And at first, when I found out that I had cancer on Valentine's Day, I didn't realize how bad it was.
She's my mom. She's my favorite person in the world, so obviously hearing that is the worst news you could get.
Costigan was left feeling empty, pondering on whether he could continue with the sport that keeps him away from family. But to his mom, Sandy, there was only one option.
The first thing my mom said to me was like, Kyle, don't let this, like, obviously this is difficult, and you just have to do your own thing, and this is what you have to do. You have to play football.
I mean, football is his whole life. I would be totally crushed if he even missed a game because of me. You know that it's not going to happen.
What has happened is the emergence of overwhelming support within the Wind Lake and Badger communities. Friends of the Costigans have now raised more than $13,000 to help pay for Sandy's cancer treatments.
I can't believe what's happened with this fundraiser.
Fighting through the cramps she gets on a regular basis, Sandy expressed her gratitude.
And I just, oh my goodness, pray that I live long enough to somehow pay everybody back and thank them.
Costigan was dealing with his own pain back in Madison, but his team has helped lift his spirits.
So many guys that you talked to once or twice before, and they come up to you, put your arm around you, and say, "Hey, man, sorry to hear about it." It's unbelievable how a whole team can kind of rally around you.
And now Kyle is playing with a new purpose every time he puts on the helmet. He's, of course, playing for Wisconsin, but now he's also playing for Mom.
She's always been my biggest fan, and now she's going through something I can't imagine. If I'm ever out there and I'm fatigued or tired or feeling sorry for myself, I got to slap myself in the face and realize, giving an idea what she's going through, how much more difficult something like that is.
I pray that he can just enjoy this last year and not think about me, and just like it was last year. I'm praying that at least maybe I can come to 2 home games, but we'll see.
For Wisconsin men's tennis coach Greg Van Emberg, tennis is a family game. A game he's able to share with his 15-year-old son, Jake.
Being in the off-season now, it's nice to also be able to get with him and work with him and try to also hone his skills.
Jake's so skilled, he's the 13th ranked high school freshman in the country.
We just try to not take many breaks and just get the most out of it as possible. Having a dad who actually wants you to get better, he generally cares about how I do.
Back at home, the garage is the sanctuary for younger son Jensen, who has found a game he can share with family.
Well, I was at a tennis tournament with my brother. There was a ping pong table there, and I was bored, so I tried it, and it was pretty fun.
A spinal cord injury at birth left Jensen paralyzed from the armpits down, but life in a chair hasn't kept him on the sideline.
I was not going to let it affect me at all. I just wanted to try to find a sport.
With the help of his family, Jensen's gotten so good at table tennis, he's become a member of the Paralympic junior national team.
That was a good rally.
I was the first one to teach him how to play table tennis. Me and him used to play in the garage every night.
He really built me up to a good level.
It's really neat to see him just with a big smile on his face when he's able to play and beat his father and Jake.
2 versions of a game shared by one family.
We all understand of the losing and the competitive part of it, so we can all relate.
Since table tennis and tennis kind of relate, it's good that he has that and that we can share something like that.
Whenever you see your kids doing well and they're having fun and they're enjoying themselves and they're growing up to be young men, it's very, very rewarding.
Jon Griffith, 27 Sports.